Welcome one and all to Terraria, one of the highest rated games of all time on Steam, and a game that just happens to be my favorite of all time. I've been playing Terraria for several years now, and I basically played it on every single platform from my mother's iPad to the PlayStation 4 and of course my computer. But of course, like any other game, Terraria got a little boring after like the third or fourth time I beat it. That was until my brother introduced me into the world of modded Terraria. And, much like Terraria's popular counterpart, Minecraft, the first time playing with a mod pack is like discovering the game for the first time again. Purple. It was a blast to play with both friends and family using these mods.
I'm on speed!
With the main content mod I play with being known as Calamity. Calamity is probably the most popular Terraria mod out there right now, with the mod adding tons of new weapons, gear, armor, bosses, and equipment, as well as additional progression past the final boss of vanilla Terraria. Calamity also adds its own unique difficulties past the ones available in vanilla, adding additional items locked behind these difficulties, and adding entirely new features such as Adrenaline and Rage during boss fights. And trust me, base Calamity is incredible to play through by itself. But there's a lot more mods out there than just Calamity, and one in particular is what this entire series is going to be based off. You see, there lies an additional mod to Calamity. Yes, a mod of a mod. That one sick, twisted evil genius by the name of Dominic Karma spent many moons crafting the perfect addition to Calamity. An addition that adds an entire new difficulty harder than the hardest difficulty available in Calamity. A difficulty that completely reworks the AI and mechanics of both vanilla and modded bosses that turns fights like this into this. Welcome to Infernum, and just in case you're curious, yes, it's like this for every single boss. Yet, even though I find the prospect of trying this difficulty very daunting, it would make really good content if I was able to beat it. And so, here we are. Within this multi-part series, it will be my sole mission and goal to defeat every single boss within Infernum, to fully conquer this difficulty regardless of how many deaths, setbacks, and obstacles face me. So join me, let us venture into this core world together. I mean, it can't be that bad, right? Oh shit! Oh. Before we get into the actual game, we of course have to create a little guide that we're going to be following throughout this journey. So, everyone make some noise for the one, the only, Tony! And for the world, we set the name to a deep cut reference that no one will get, and set the world to medium, expert, and corruption. The optimal and based settings. And while the world is being created, I just want to give a quick disclaimer that within this series, I'm going to try my best to really break down why I think Infernum is such a special mod to me. Despite me not having completed the run as of writing this, I really hope to go over my thought process, strategies, and the justifications for my actions throughout the run. Also, don't worry if you don't know Terraria or modded Terraria that well or at all, as I'm going to try my best to make sure that anyone can at least somewhat understand of what's going on. So, apologies to anyone who just wants to see the really cool boss fights. Feel free to scream at me in the comments or whatever. Oh, and right before world creation finishes, I do ask that if you would all enjoy this video, if you could subscribe to the channel. I really enjoy making these kinds of videos, and I have a ton of projects just like this planned for the future. So any kind of support would be greatly appreciated. And would you look at that, just in time. So now, with no further delay, let's dive headfirst into this thing. First awakening in the world, we ignore the massive load of text presented to us before immediately getting assaulted by a slime, where we can then actually turn on Infernum. Oh. From there we do a standard start, opening our starter bag and chopping down some trees for some wood, before immediately running to a massive problem within Infernum. I swear, these slimes did not go this high before. If you never played Terraria before or haven't in a while, slimes aren't supposed to go that fast. As it turns out, Infernum has this quirky little feature where since its difficulty is supposed to be harder than Calamity's death mode, Infernum has the feature of having like every single enemy move around twice as fast. And since I got caught completely off guard by these phantom-laced slimes, I get my first death just over 2 minutes into the world.
Oh shit, it's Terraria slime!
What is this? The first of many to come. We still have to press on, so I continue to terraform the spawn area, flattening it in order to build a shelter. And after conveniently finding a pair of chef clothes and killing myself on purpose in order to mark my exact spawn, construction of our first house begins. Before being interrupted by this tanky pig, slowly being deported to death with this brick for some petty cash. This fun family activity takes us to our first night, just in time for me to finish the first houses. Just some simple boxes for now that have a ton of space in them. I did this so I can get more NPCs to move in and sell me some cool stuff, and so I can have plenty of storage to seal away my wares. But before the first monsters of the night show up, I'll do some early exploring to my left, finding a small cave with a small chest in it, before immediately getting sandwiched and killed for my third death.
Oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay, that guy does 75 damage.
By this point, I decided to chill and settle down for the night, fighting out some early zombies and demonites until morning. And while we wait for the sun to rise, I should point out that some viewers who played modded Terraria before may have noticed that I'm not just playing with base Calamity. This is true, I'm actually playing with a somewhat small mod pack with the following mods. I could use this time to quickly go over each one, but I believe that'd be more appropriate to go over them when they become relevant later in the video, as the majority of the additional mods are just for quality of life. The rest of the night isn't uneventful, however, as I do some shopping, build a second story, and die. Again. And as morning comes, I finish up the second story so 2 more NPCs can move in, and I start exploring the world. Heading to my right and quickly finding a desert and a jungle very close to my house, where these biomes usually have some very good early loot in them. However, due to me basically being the equivalent of a 12-year-old with a sock and bopper going against a pack of hungry pit bulls, I shy away from really going underground to find some loot. A decision that seems foolish at first, until you realize that a singular small bee does dirty damage to you. And maybe you can see why I'm not too keen on blindly jumping into a dark, scary cave. But since it's the fastest way to progress early on, I put together some cactus armor for thorns damage, and begin some light exploring within my jungle in search of 2 major things. Abandoned houses with useful accessories in them, and more importantly, life crystals. An uncommon underground find that's used to boost your max HP so I don't die in 2 hits. And after teleporting home with some good early loot,
What the hell?
I buy a pretty good build from this fish guy who I'm 90% sure isn't supposed to move in yet. Oh well, I'll take it though, as now, this build allows me to confidently explore at night. But, if you're wondering why I seem so eager to explore both sides of my world so early on besides the always want for progression, it'll be because I'm trying to find the evil biome within my world. The corruption. Now, there's been many arguments online as to which of the evils was better, but for reasons that'll be revealed shortly, I decided to have my world be a corrupted one. And as soon as I find my corruption biome, I immediately jump down this deep pit where we finally find what I've been looking for. These purple shadow orbs found deep within the underground corruption. And by using some of these bombs I bought from the demolitionist NPCs that moved in, and we can easily blast through the corrupted stone that my puny copper pickaxe isn't able to mine. And with 2 more bombs, the shadow orb is demolished. And within it lies my prize I've been eager to get. A musket. That's right, baby! This run is gonna be a gun ranger run. Woo! The musket is a very reliable early gun that can easily dispatch the most common monsters you'll come across, easily making it my main weapon that's gonna be vital in my survival while I venture deeper into my world. And since guns need ammo, I head over to the nearby desert to set up a small base in order to attract the arms dealer NPC. The reason why I'm building an entire new house fit with the correct biome blocks far away from my house is due to the 1.4 update that came out, Jesus, 4 years ago. This last major update of Terraria added the feature of NPC happiness, where, in order to avoid having NPCs jack up their prices, you need to settle them in A, biomes and buy NPCs they like, and B, not cramp them together like cattle. Damn, I miss me my 1.3 shoeboxes. The rewards for this are discounts on NPC prices and biome pylons, which basically allow you to teleport from pylon to pylon if the right circumstances are met. So if you see me building new biome houses or whatever instead of expanding my main house, this is why. And with my new musket attracting the arms dealer, my ammo needs are now sated. Switching my main focus to gather as many life crystals as I can before I can really start scaling. Meaning that now with my shiny new gun, it's time to tear apart this jungle.
And yep, there I go.
And while deep in the jungle, discovering the temple early on and even finding a temple chest on the outside, I randomly stumble upon if not the most important gun this early into the run. Okay, forget everything I just said about the musket, as now, the boomstick is my new best friend. A simple shotgun that's a super reliable DPS source, allowing me to easily zoom across the jungle, finding several life crystals along the way. And this exploration was actually going pretty well, with plenty of ores and chests found. Until...
What?
Uh-oh. Facing a goblin army this early may seem a bit daunting, where as soon as I use my new magic mirror to teleport home, my base will be swarmed with goblin troops until I kill enough of their army to push them back. However, with the boomstick in one hand, shell shooter in the other, I think I'll be just fine.
A bull!
With defeating the goblin army only on one death, I feel confident to start recklessly blazing their early game progression. As now, we scale! I think it's about time now to finally start going through some of the mods within this mod pack I've been playing with. Starting with the fan favorite of Ore Excavator, which basically just saves you time by automatically mining an entire vein of ore with the press of a single assigned button. I bring this up, as now that I have a solid amount of ore with my new platinum pickaxe, it's a great time to show off one of my favorite additions Calamity brings to the table. That being the ability to craft somewhat rare or hard to get accessories with relatively cheap materials, helping to avoid mindless grinding, searching, or fishing, just to obtain some bare basic accessories. But, of course, with any Terraria world, the more you explore, the more items you get to clog up your chest. Now, a sane person would probably try and sort these chests early on by naming them and doing some proper organization. But we all know that everyone just wants to dump everything into a chest without a second thought, bringing in what may be the best quality of life mod ever made. Magic Storage. If this video or series gets you interested in trying Calamity or modded Terraria, please download this mod. Magic Storage does as the name implies, introducing new items to introduce a magical way to manage your item storage, which at first requires a somewhat basic setup of connecting the mod storage unit to a small system that feeds it all to one storage heart. Luckily, these are pretty easy to make, with the only difficulty being that you need very specific jewels to craft said items. But once everything is hooked up, you basically don't need to do any organization at all. You can just shove everything within the storage system, and if you need to find a specific item, block, or accessory, you can use the storage heart's interface to filter out what you're looking for, or just type it out within the interface. The amount of items you can store is tied to the amount of storage units you've set up, which can be upgraded using the mod's upgrade items, which are conveniently tied to Terraria's progression. But, as I've said, we need to find very specific jewels to set up the system, so might as well dig straight down beneath my base in order to find them. This actually serves two purposes in the current run. The first being to dig to a depth where the jewels can actually spawn, and the second to might as well get the creation of the elevator out of the way. For those of you who don't know, a elevator is basically just a massive hole that takes you directly to hell. Fun, I know. And while digging, not only did I find tons of promising cave locations that might have the gems I'm looking for, but I find the rest of the life crystals I need to max on my HP at 400.
And max health.
For now. Not soon after, I find myself in the underworld, completing the basic elevator and finding myself exploring some of those promising mining spots I found. Before...
And that's how I lost 16 gold.
It doesn't get much better, as right as I start working on the elevator some more...
Oh.
You see, like in base Terraria, once you're at a certain health and defense requirement, this boss has a 1 in 3 chance every night to spawn in until it's defeated. And this boss is of course, the poster child of the game that everyone knows about. The Eye of Cthulhu. I'm already pretty nervous. This would be the first Infernum boss fight of the run. And note that Queen Bee spawn doesn't count.
Uh-oh. I did not mean to summon you. I did not mean to summon you. I'm not gonna lie, boys. Why was...
And, as you can clearly see within my build and house, I am nowhere near ready for a boss fight, stuck without an arena while I'm left scouring my messy chest for some basic potions in order to stand a chance. And as much as I would love to tell you that I actually balled out and easily slayed Infernum I could deal on my first try, I didn't stand a damn chance. Quickly noticing that the eye boss was much faster than anticipated, has 6,000 health now, and had several new moves up its sleeve that I wasn't ready for. And although I did get it to its second phase and dropped it at half health completely unprepared, it's quite clear that I'm going to need a skill of a hell of a lot more before I'm ready for round 2. Getting back to the grind, I make the elevator 1 block wider, drink a spelunker potion in a deep cave I found, and after searching around for a while, I finally find an emerald crawler to put out of its misery, because for some reason I kept finding diamonds and rubies. Luckily, this is just enough to finally set up magic storage, having just enough silver bars to craft enough storage units to store all of my stuff in. ending this clutter of chests I have inside my house once and for all. After this, I decided to make my basement look much more nice, as well as setting up additional spots for future storage units, which is going to take 340 silver bars to make. Damn. And now with magic storage set up, I decided to take a hard look at my accessories, noticing that I've been missing Hermes boots, a very common and needed mobility item that I strangely haven't found yet. Luckily, since I'm playing modded though.
Alright, to simply put it why I love modded Terraria so much. Screw it, I make my own Hermes boots.
And just if you're wondering, this little panel down here is a mod called Cheat Sheet, which sounds pretty bad, I know, but you have to trust me. I really want to use it for as recipe finder, mostly since modded adds so many new recipes for existing and new items that it's a new requirement for me just for this feature alone. I mean, I also use it for the chef clothes, but don't worry about it, And speaking of accessories, I headed back into the mines, mostly for silver ore as I mentioned, but also to find a new NPC, the Goblin Tinkerer. Since I defeat the Goblin army already, the Goblin Tinker can now spawn underground tied up. And after finding him and freeing him, I buy rocket boots for mobility, and more importantly, the Tinkerer's Workshop. This crafting block allows for accessories to be combined, and now that I'm almost at the point in the run where accessories are now very important, this is a huge find, allowing me to instantly make lightning boots, allowing me to run insanely fast, as well as having some vertical mobility. This also allows me to talk about another amazing change that Calamity devs made, as in vanilla, the Goblin Tinker is known as a bit of a scammer, as accessories and weapons usually have some kind of modifier in them, either good or bad, and the Goblin Tinker has the ability to reforge them for a new modifier, with better and more rare weapons and gear costing more to reforge. However, since getting the best reforges can only be attained at random, you can end up spending entire platinum coins just to get what you want. Thankfully, in Calamity, the devs made it so that each weapon and accessory gradually gets better with each reforge, completely eliminating the chance to get a crappy reforge. Incredible. And after messing around with some more accessories, I decided to finally fully explore both sides of the world, finding only an extra corruption biome and the Inkler NPC on my right. Meaning that on my left side, the dungeon awaits me. But more important than the dungeon right now is what lies beyond it, that being one of Calamity's new biomes, the Sulphurous Sea. Unfortunately, I'm nowhere near ready for either of these locations, but they'll be very important later on, so keep them in mind. I discovered another Calamity edition after this with the Planetoids, basically just tiny microbiomes high above in space. These are actually very cool to explore early on in a run, as not only can you score some easy biome chests and life crystals, but the Plains Planetoids always have an obscene amount of ore in them, the main reason why I'm up here. Ore Excavator really comes in handy here, showing why I was chosen for the mod pack, but you may be thinking, why did I come up here much sooner? Well, stay up in space longer than 2 minutes, and you'll quickly find out why. Harpies are just very unfun to play against, and with having lower gravity up here, it's quite easy to be juggled by a small flock of harpies. However, while in space, I found and killed an aerial slime, which drops aerialite ore. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to have this yet, since aerialite is supposed to be spawned after killing a boss, but hey, we take those. And interestingly enough, aerialite is actually used for an upgrade to the boomstick, the Aqua Charged Shotgun. But since I'm somewhat skeptical if this is an actual upgrade or not, I decided to try and obtain another boomstick so I don't accidentally waste mine, where the only way how is by fishing up a jungle crate to craft the boomstick. So, off I went into the jungle to try my hand at fishing for a jungle crate, where...
Oh, bro wants round 2.
Yeah, I'm still nowhere near ready, and the outcome is exactly as everyone would expect. Folded. Again. This can't happen again. I mean, as they say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. So, now that I'm comfortable about the progress I've made, it's time to stop messing around. It's time to kill a boss. It's not going to be easy. Infernum adds a curveball to literally every single boss, both modded and vanilla. But now that I'm finally going to be going against the boss, I believe now it's important to go over one of the most important and biggest additions that comes from playing on this difficulty: Adrenaline and Rage. Added through Revengeance mode, the difficulty added by Calamity, Adrenaline and Rage are shown through small bars that only really matter during a boss fight, as when fighting one, as long as you aren't being hit, your Adrenaline bar slowly gets built up. And once it's full, you can activate it to deal 200% damage for a small time. But if you get hit at all while fighting a boss, even when it's fully filled, the bar resets. The other bar is Rage, A much more forgiving requirement, as you just need to stand near an enemy in order to fill it, with the bar filling up 3 times faster during boss fights. Activating Rage gives you a base boost of 35% extra damage, and it's overall much easier to get during a boss fight. Just make sure they're actually bound to your button, much like a lot of the other mods here as well. And with that explanation out of the way, I'll start preparing for future boss fights by making a very small arena above my house, just in case the Cthulhu wants to surprise me again. From there, I take inventory of the accessories I have, seeing which ones are going to be necessary in fighting a boss. Unfortunately, I really have nothing of use for now, and since I'm very impatient and I just want any kind of win, I brush any kind of additional prep aside and craft a Royal Crown, an item that summons the King Slime. Here we go.
I got read by it.
I don't even know what to say. King Slime is supposed to be one of the earliest and easiest bosses you can face. And although yes, this is Infernum and there are obvious changes made to King Slime, but that's not a valid excuse to me. But I know that I just need to calm down a little bit. I can't and really shouldn't rush a mod like Infernum. I work in my arena some more, crafting and placing items like campfires and heart lanterns down. Items that when placed give you permanent health regeneration when standing near them. And while placing them in my arena,
Like, if this is just base preventions, okay, you know what? Perfect timing.
well, I guess that was what the arena was built for. So now that said, I'm trying a new strategy with the arena I've made. As in my previous fights, I realized just how annoying the servants the ice spawns in can be, blocking my boomstick and doing a lot of damage to me if they hit me. So I quickly bring out a desperate answer to the servants. A wooden flamethrower. This is a weapon that was introduced by the more Zen of the Weapons mod, which is meant to add more of those crazy endgame weapons for each weapon type, like how Relogic did it with the Zen at the 1.4. I really doubt it'll work, especially with the modifier on it, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Let's see if it'll work.
What the fuck is you talking about?
Dude, I can't, dude.
And to the surprise of no one, the flamethrower that does 8 whole damage, made of wood, and has 0 range did not help. At all. By this point in my stream, I'm really not thinking right. I'm frustrated and almost feel stuck. So, like a bumbling gambling addict, I just need one more hit, and this time, I'll hit it big.
Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it.
Yeah, dude, that thing reads you so freaking hard. How did they do that?
I almost feel embarrassed watching this back. Although I make it seem like the Ruby sending out these heat-seeking beams, I don't even realize that I'm practically running into them myself. Yet, I still don't realize that, electing to bring out the old musket for a more accurate shot so I can try to kill the Ruby first. The Ruby with 4,000 health.
What the f?
Before you ask, I can already answer what you're thinking. Yes. Yes, he's stupid.
There goes again.
And now he's mad. Thankfully, I am improving slowly but surely during these failed attempts, hoping that with just a bit more prep, I can eventually bash my head through this wall.
No! Okay, that was pretty good.
I'm definitely improving at the boss fight, and although I could probably keep going and beat it within my next 2 to 4 attempts, I realized that I should probably improve my build in a certain aspect.
I should probably get some actual freaking armor. Alright, 32 defense, not bad.
And now after ditching my armor made of literal cacti, I believe that now, I can finally slay my first boss.
Nice hustle, tons of fun. Next time, eat a salad. What are you aiming at? What are you aiming at?
Hello, everyone.
Hey, there it is. Oh my god.
And there it is, my very first Infernum boss defeated. It took a bit more effort than I thought, but now I can finally enjoy some of the spoils gained from my victory. Getting myself a solidifier for future crafting recipes, and a sick looking trophy to put somewhere later.
So with the solidifier, I can actually get something huge now.
What I'm talking about here is a shark tooth necklace, an accessory that helps ignore enemy defense, but instead of waiting for a blood moon to happen and trying my luck to get one then, I discovered a blood zombie statue on the ground a while back, where statues in Terraria summon the enemy of said statue when you hook it up to some wiring. So, using an old trap near the temple that killed me, I hook it up and start farming. After my 50th kill, I get a blood zombie banner, where usually these can be hung up to increase your effectiveness against said enemy. But luckily, I can just use this banner and a solidifier dropped by the King Slime to get my shark tooth necklace. With my increased armor penetration and improved knowledge on the fight, I can now easily farm King Slime, as something I forgot to mention is that all boss spawning items are actually non-consumable, meaning that they can freely be spawned over and over again. Thanks, Calamity. Farming King Slime does give you a decent chunk of change I can use for NPCs, and speaking of them, I should really make more houses. So, starting on the ground, I dig out and furnish some new homes in hopes of attracting new NPCs that might help me before I fight Eye of Cthulhu again. Some of these NPCs do come from other mods, like this one, the Architect from Alchemist NPC. This mod does add some pretty heavy content to the game, so I just downloaded the light version instead, mostly for NPCs like the Architect, who sells building blocks and furniture. The other NPC here comes from Fargo's Mutant mod. Now, Fargo's is actually a small series of mods, the most famous of which being Fargo's Souls mod, which has an item that has a ridiculous amount of crafting steps to it. But it kinda turns you into a god and makes the game way too easy. So I just kept Fargo's Mutant mod for the NPCs, selling stuff such as items that can summon specific events and end them early. I like me some quality of life, what can I say? But by now, after farming King Slime over and over again, I feel ready for Eye of Cthulhu. So instead of waiting for it to show up on a random night, I head over to my nearest demon altar and create a suspicious looking eye to summon the bastard myself. But since I have to wait until night, I bided my time by carving a hole into a cliff in the jungle and setting up some more houses there. Getting another NPC from Fargo's movement and finally being able to use the pylon system, allowing for easy teleportation between my houses. I also buy a very important gun in the mini truck from the arms dealer, and trust me, the evolution this little gun is going to make will carry this run down the road. And as night finally arrives, well, looks like they just couldn't help themselves. I feel a lot more confident this time around though. With improved armor and accessories, there's nothing more I can really do besides sit around and wait.
Count me down. 10, 9, never mind. Ugh. 'That counts! Yes! Oh my god! "17 frames decided the victor this time around. I really think that this fight just goes to show why Infernum is so special to me. The Eye of Cthulhu, with every respect I could give for such an icon of the game, is a really easy boss in vanilla. The last time I think I ever struggled with the Eye of Cthulhu was maybe when I was 10 years old playing Expert Mode for the first time. Never in my life did I ever expect to be popping the hell off, screaming for joy and happiness, cheering and clapping wildly like I just watched the Giants win another World Series for beating the Eye of Cthulhu. This is Infernum in all of its glory, ladies and gentlemen. And we've only just begun. These were just the beginning bosses. 2 down and 45 left to go. With me finally beating the Eye of Cthulhu, a gamer probably is to me the most important accessory in the game at this point. The Shield of Cthulhu. This not only gives 5 defense, but it gives me the ability to dash, an absolute vital mobility accessory for future bosses that's gonna clutch up time and time again. I mean, it could also ram into things, but the dash is really what I'm here for. Also, might as well check off 3 other mods here, that being Boss Checklist, which really just shows every boss in the game, what they drop, and your personal stats against them. I think for some reason it's rating off my previous Calamity run though. The other smaller mods here would be Boss Cursor, which is pretty self-explanatory, and what mod this is from, which is also pretty self-explanatory. After the boss fight, I built some more homes, this time by the clean beach on the right side, and set up a shimmering star as another crafting item. This block in particular allows me to make a whoopee cushion for some more accessory making, which causes me to accidentally die from fall damage after checking to see what I can make with an obsidian horseshoe, and forgetting to re-equip it. Yeah, I forgot I didn't have it equipped. My fault. Anyways, one of the latest NPCs that moved in was the Alchemist from, you guessed it, Alchemist NPC Light. And speaking of that mod, one of its greatest features is the ability to permadose your character with in-game potions, where if you have 30 of the same potion in your inventory or piggy bank, you will permanently have that potion's effect on at all times. Now, some may argue that this is actually cheating a bit, or a bit too unfair. But in all fairness, I did buy 30 iron skin potions for the effect, and for God's sake, this is Infernum I'm playing. Just please, let me have this one. I actually do this for a couple of other basic potions, using money I get from farming Kingslayer in order to buy potion ingredients or just the potions themselves from the brewer NPC. These are a bit pricey, but the perma buff makes it so worth it. I do this cycle a bit more, getting several perma buffs that'll be useful later on, or just random buffs that I want. But I hope it isn't just me when I feel like there are way too many NPCs here. Hell, some of them I don't even talk to or buy from. So with nowhere else to put them, I construct 4 more houses, this time deep down in a hole. Let's call it the useless pit. This fortunately makes way for more useful NPCs, like a guy that sells jewels, a guy that sells accessories, and a squirrel that sells people. Yo, I thought this was banned in 1865. These new NPCs allow me to progress my build even further and start crafting pieces of the PDA, a stupidly long and annoying crafting branch from vanilla that's a lot easier to obtain thanks to Calamity. I also begin what hopefully is my final housing development project, where instead of making a house at the ice biome to my left that would provide no advantage whatsoever, I instead make an artificial snow biome between the dungeon and the Sulphur Sea. This is done so I can have an easy teleport to the far left side of the map that's very close to these 2 very important locations. But for some dumb reason, I wanted to explore the Sulphur Sea a bit. It did just get a rework when I recorded this, where oh wow, you get Titan imploded, huh? Don't worry, I'll explore the void later. But now with the majority of houses built, I prepare for the next boss, the Desert Scourge, where I need a desert medallion to spawn them in, which means I get to finally explore the desert biome in order to find storm lions for their mandibles, the main ingredient needed for the desert medallion. I quickly find a couple and craft the medallion by using a demon altar, and without caring to make an arena, I decide to test the waters against the first boss chronologically from Calamity, the Desert Scourge.
They fly now! They fly now!
Okay, bro, kind of bulls.
What is this fuck me for?
That easy. Oh boy. The first boss to be defeated on the first try. Not bad at all. It really goes to show why these potions and mobility items that took a while to get are so invaluable. A lot of the loot from the Desert Scourge is actually pretty decent, as I try out the Storm Surge with the promise of no ammo needed, and the projectile choose being able to go through walls. Adequate enough to start using against the Desert Scourge for more farming. However, this is still Infernum, and I actually end up dying to it. Oops. Unfortunately though, I'm still not done scaling, spending around 30 minutes fishing until I get enough fish to make 30 seafood dinners in order to get a permanent exquisitely stuffed effect. How fun. I do some more grinding that includes outright buying the pieces to craft the fish finder and killing a couple more bosses in order to afford reforges. And now I feel like it's finally time to take on another major boss of Terraria, another icon of the game, the Eater of Worlds. This is one of the many worm bosses in the game and mod, as already shown by the Desert Scourge. And since it can only be spawned in the corruption, it means it's time to finally build another arena. However, after buying a crap ton of wood and beginning the project, I start to notice a large amount of hives is showing up. Now, for those of you who don't know, destroying this summons a boss known as the Hive Mind. And since this is my first time ever playing Infernum, curiosity gets the better of me, and I decided to just say, fuck it, we ball! What the hell? I have no clue what's going on right now.
Bullet hell. Ah. Oh, what is that? Yeah.
That actually wasn't too bad, but I should really try to complete my arenas before I use them in a fight, especially when going against bosses I like to face into the floor. And since my plan on pickaxe isn't able to mine corrupted stone yet, a couple hundred bombs have to do the trick. I work deep into the night excavating, making a pit wide enough to hopefully avoid the hive mind from hiding in the floor. Finishing the arena by setting up campfires and heart lanterns for healing, and adding another floor of platforms. And now, I feel ready to try my hand against the hive mind again.
Ah. Ah. Really? Bruh. Dog. Oh yeah, I choked.
Unfortunately, you really can't go far if you find yourself choking and finding a way to get hit by every single attack thrown your way. But hey, Infernum is all about trial and error, with this next run having the effect of a calming potion to lessen enemy spawns, and a test my other weapon to see if I stand a better chance.
Bad hits. He does heal. I was right. No! Oh!
An absolute gut punch. 45 health. There's probably no worse feeling you can have in a mod like Infernum than to lose like this. But I know I could have played so much better, take less bad hits, and just lock in more. Some may feel dejected or defeated after that, yet it only pushes me further, choosing to instead now invest in a different kind of bullet instead of just plain musket balls, using Pearl Shard to craft acceleration rounds, as they do 4 more damage than regular bullets, damage that would have won me the previous fight. Time to redeem myself.
And a powerful shot of steel.
Yes! Oh, let's go.
Feels good to finally win against that thing, and if you're wondering why I wanted to kill the hive mind so badly besides my pride, it was for one specific weapon, and although it didn't drop, it's able to be crafted using the material dropped by the hive mind. The Shade Thrower.
Alright, that means either world should not be that bad. Because this flamethrower, I'm telling you, goes so hard. I am not even kidding. Oh, this is gonna be hype.
Now, I sound so hyped about this thing for a good reason, as when I was doing my Revengeance run about a year ago, the Shade Thrower basically carried me in the Eater of Worlds fight due to being a high damage dealing flamethrower due to its pierce. The perfect weapon for a segment boss like the Eater of Worlds. It's almost like I forgot which mod I'm playing on.
Whoa. Wait, is this like dog? Oh my god, I think this is like dog. What? No, my plan.
I seriously don't know why I'm surprised. Like, yeah man, of course they're gonna change the boss!
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
Uh-oh. Oh, come on. Stupid. Oh. My god, man. That was so dumb. What was that?
Luckily, despite the curveball thrown at me, I was still able to first try the Eater of Worlds. I guess you can see why I was so hyped for the Shadow Thrower, as in the words of a very wise German man, it's free for the goat. With the Eater of Worlds defeated, not only do I get access to the Shadow Set and the Worm Scarf, but now, the rest of Prehardmode progression really opens up. This is mostly due to being able to craft the Nightmare Pickaxe, allowing me access to the best ore available in Prehardmode, Hellstone. But we'll get to that later, as you may have noticed that a meteorite fell as soon as I defeated the Eater of Worlds, as for some reason, the fall of the meteorite is tied to the Eater of Worlds. Why? I don't know. I hold off on finding it for now though, instead deciding to use my shiny new pickaxe to finally go out and find over 1,000 pieces of silver ore, to finally finish my base magic storage system, before using my elevator to use what the Nightmare Pick was designed to do, mine Hellstone. And luckily, thanks to my perma obsidian skin potion splurge and ore excavator, what usually is a boring hour-long chore is done in just under 15 minutes, even getting time to explore Calamity's underworld biome, the Brimstone Crag, where there's not really much to do yet. But hey, it looks really sick. And after depleting my world of all of its hellstone and obsidian, I craft around 500 hellstone bars, getting to directly upgrade my gear and have the hellstone bars necessary when it's time to upgrade magic storage. Unfortunately, I need to do the shadow upgrade to them first, but since I need 400 shadow bars, I go off to farm Eater of Worlds, where I lose, and almost do again in another rematch. Remember, still Infernum. Funnily enough, I'm just short of the needed shadow bar, so after another quick stint in the mines, I finally get enough Demonite to finally max out my magic storage for now, with it being topped at 3600 items. Glorious. I'm not done with renovations though. Instead of spending an entire stream just improving my house, making a dirt floor to start various crafting blocks in it, and these pyro cell makers that I'm using as money printers that I keep finding in random labs around the world.
Is it here? Look at this.
I also do some quick landscaping before finally digging some extra space beneath my storage room to build a neat little trophy room, as I'm going to need plenty of space for all those bosses I'm going to kill. And after a while, I decided to finally take a short break on these projects, and started looking for a new type of ore that I should be able to mine now since I defeated the hive mind a while back. Aerolite. And I'm not sure if this is a bug or not, but it didn't spawn in, as aerolite was changed to only spawn on floating islands, with them supposed to turn blue after defeating the hive mind. I check on the ground again, and although I do find a nymph to give me the third to last piece for the PDA, nothing. I killed the hive mind again? Nothing. Luckily, the hive mind actually has a chance to drop some aerolite ore, and I did get some from those arrow slimes way back when, so not all is lost. Although, if you do know why my aerolite is like this, if it's like a bug or something, let me know in the comments. I'll come back to why this is important later, but for now, I'm back on track with killing bosses, with my sights now set on one of Calamity's mini-bosses, the Giant Clam. This guy only spawns in one of Calamity's coolest biomes, the Sunken Sea, and I'm going after it now due to it dropping Mollusk Husk, which has a ton of crafting uses later on. But unfortunately, due to the Sunken Sea being a cramped space, my frame dropping to like 12, and just my plain old hubris, I quickly get filtered.
Yo, I actually got bodied. Goddamn.
And after quickly learning from my mistakes by buying flavor potions and preparing a tiny arena, my next run comes very close, with my third run finally sealing the deal on Mr. Calamitous over here. However, it turns out that Moloch shells are a hard mode only item. Whoops, at least I get another trophy for my collection. The progression continues with me finding and mining that fallen meteorite in order to receive meteor shot, or bullets to have the ability to ricochet and pierce. I also do some light exploring of the surface dungeon, where I actually have a really good tip for anyone who's new to Terraria, that if you find your dungeon early in your run, feel free to go down it early. There's some really good loot inside of it that unfortunately isn't useful to me anymore, as it's really only good early on. Moving past it and after building more houses in the useless pit, I'm finally able to set up a pylon in my artificial ice biome, allowing me to teleport directly next to the dungeon, which means it's finally time to prepare for Skeletron. Before I started my run, I heard a lot of quiet murmurs on the Calamity subreddit, with a lot of people telling me that Skeletron is the hardest boss in Prehardmode Infernum. So I decided to try and heed their warning well, creating what may be my biggest arena yet, as I also plan to fight another boss, the Slime God, here as well. But oh man, I really did not know what I was about to get into, as I already thought that Skeletron is one of the hardest Prehardmode bosses even in vanilla Terraria, but nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the hell I was about to go through with this one single boss fight.
Oh my. Holy. 13,000. Oh my. Ooh, what does that mean?
What the?
Kissing on my hot mouth.
What is that? This is hell. This is hell. This is horrible. This is horrible. Nah, dude.
I already know that deep in my head, I'm going to need a lot more buffs if I even want to stand a chance. So, turn that shit up, DJ. We have a lot more grinding to do. Starting with Blood Moons, since I can spawn them in every night, I do this in order to get my money up for future potions and reforges, but also to get Blood Orbs, which allow me to craft any kind of potion I like, with me specifically going for Life Force, Rage, and Wrath potions. Unfortunately, I can't access the crafting block needed for those recipes yet, but I push on regardless, grinding boss after boss, really showing off how good Meteor Shot is, especially against a worm boss like Desert Scourge. Yet, it still can't help me from burning all of the money I get from grinding just to do 4% extra damage. It can be pretty frustrating to see this amazing system that the Calamity devs made have one slight oversight of randomly selecting these top reforges instead of cycling through them. So, in order to blow off some steam, I decided to fight Skeletron again. Yeah, maybe I am stupid. What is that? What is that? You may say that those 40 minutes I spent grinding may have been for absolutely nothing, but you'd be wrong, as I finally got menacing on my Terra Spark boots. But you're also kinda right if you said that. And with dwindling options and less want to bash my head against Skeletron over and over again until I somehow beat him, I get the potions and accessories needed for the ultimate fishing simulator. Now, you may have remembered a while back that I mentioned something about fishing in the jungle and aerialite. Well, the main reason why I brought those up is for one singular weapon, the Aqua Shard Shotgun. You see, despite me having the materials to make this gun for the longest time, and with the Aqua Shard Shotgun seeming like a direct upgrade, I previously had a very bad experience with this gun in a previous Calamity run, so I was very skeptical to try this gun out again, and decided to stick with the rugged and reliable Boomstick. Until now. After finally fishing up a jungle crate, I can directly craft a spare Boomstick to try it out, and oh my god. This may just be the savior of my sanity. This is what I've been looking for this whole time. A gun that can output hundreds of damage a second to melt bosses in an instant. This can be the weapon to topple Skeletron with, confidently teleporting into the dungeon again. And losing. Wait, no, this can't be right. I try again, and oh, look at that damage. I can actually do this. This is the right gun for the job. I don't understand. No matter how big I make the arena, no matter how many arena items I put in, no matter how many buffs I have constantly on me, it's never enough. I almost just feel... I know that I have a big loser mentality right now, and I know it's out of character for Mr. Fuckery Ball over here to be all moody and embrace doomerism, but I truly feel like I'm just not ready for Skeletron yet. I mean, surely it's not a me problem, right? No, it's simply because my arena is too small, or that I don't have stress pills yet, or that I still haven't gotten wrath potions. Yet, I still die. Over and over again. Hell, I even tried to kill Slime God in an attempt to get Saddle Armor, the best set in Prehardmode. Yet, it only gets me bodied every single time. I go back to face Skeletron with even more buffs on me, yet it's still not good enough. Tesla potions? Nope. Kill King Slime over 20 times just to try to get stress pills? I don't even get them.
I didn't get my stress pills, but I got 2 plat out of it, so...
It's starting to get so bad that I'm starting to sound like I'm going through withdrawal.
It's just, I need it.
I just feel so stuck. There's nothing really more I can get at this point within progression. I really just have my own personal skill to rely on, as I don't really have an excuse at this point. I have the right weapon, bullets, armor, arena, and buffs. I simply just have to work with it. And yet, despite my failures, I can see how much I'm improving at the fight. I'm getting further, getting more consistent, and I'm starting to feel like I can actually do this. Without even realizing, I've been adapting and learning this entire time. It may just feel or look like me helplessly banging my head against a brick wall over and over again, but even if I am just doing that, the cracks in the wall are starting to show. I even get this close 2 separate times. Yet, tragedy, or I guess I want to stay consistent with the theme of the game, calamity, has a certain funny way of striking you down.
What?
What are you doing?
Eh.
I want you to go in and try
That's
to
fine.
fucking ice cream.
No, I'm about to work out. Cool.
Just try it. I just want to try it.
God bless my mother's soul. She just wanted me to try some ice cream. She didn't deserve the attitude I gave her. I mean, it's not her fault her sons will shit her at Infernum. The attempts continue until, finally, the run I've been waiting for. All of the hard lessons learned, all of the improvements and optimizations to my build. At last, it's here. The run. My muscle memory is perfect. I get to Skeletron's last phase and I have so much health. This is it. I'm finally gonna vanquish my demon once and for all. Oh no! I forgot it was day. No. I I forgot to check the time. And yet, with what should be a soul-crushing moment for me a day, hell, even 2 hours ago, I only find myself even more motivated to finally slay this wretched skull. This has been the hardest test for me in Infernum so far, and it's just pre-hard mode. I can't even imagine how I'll fare in the later bosses in hard mode or even post-Moonlord, but I shouldn't think of the future at a time like this. I have this mountain to climb in front of me right now, and the summit of it is just in sight. And although I failed 16 times already, I don't plan on making that 17.
I'm feeling romantic.
Hello, I'm actually building adrenaline. What? God damn. I actually felt so much adrenaline there. Ooh, that was scary. Oh, this is it, boys. This is it. Yes! Oh, there it is! Yeah!
Sometimes, trial and error is the only way to succeed. No matter how hopeless or frustrating your situation may feel, take pride in the progress you make, to slowly see and feel yourself improving at something, repeating this process over and over again, until you eventually reach a point you never once imagined you'd see yourself at. Even when watching the final run in post-production, I am amazed to see what I was able to pull off. The muscle memory I was forced to learn and almost fully building adrenaline that helped to propel this run to finally be the one that ends with the win. This is what Infernum is best at, to push you to your limits and force you to improve, to not rely on cheese tactics or what you knew before, but to instead rely on your own skill and adaptability, here and now. Beating Skeletron opens up the rest of pre-hard mode progression, making the dungeon actually worth to go into now in order to get my final build for the final boss within pre-hard mode. Now, the dungeon is no walk in the park. It's full of angry bones, traps, spikes, and other general spookiness hidden within. However, here you'll find biome chests that can be unlocked later, as well as locked golden chests that can be unlocked now that have really good loot inside of them. We can find keys for these chests within wooden chests in the dungeon, in dungeon pots, or stumbling upon a dungeon slime, where these are guaranteed to drop a golden key upon their death. Now, it would usually take a while to get all the keys needed to get what I want, or talking with the deviant from the Forgo's mutant mod that I spoke of earlier reveals that she actually sells items to summon rare enemies like the dungeon slime once you kill one of them. God, I love modded. With all the golden keys I could ever need, I commence a full raid on the dungeon, taking all the various amazing items hidden within, with the important items for me being the Cobalt Shield in order to make the Ankh Shield later on, the Muramasa to make into the Knight's Edge, a Shadow Key to unlock Shadow Chest in the Underworld, an Angry Bones banner to make the second to final piece for the PDA in the Tally Counter, and most importantly, the handgun. Taking it back to my house and using Hellstone to craft by far the single gun I was the most excited to get, the Phoenix Blaster. I reforged it to Unreal, and it's different than I remember. Wait, why? Why is it so slow? Well, it turns out that Calamity changes a lot more than just adding new weapons, as a lot of vanilla weapons were reworked or improved upon, and the usual speedy and godlike Phoenix Blaster is basically a slightly faster and more lethal musket. God damn it. Moving past my disappointment, and it's finally time to explore Hell some more, using that Shadow Key I got to unlock all the Shadow Chests in the Underworld. And although none of these really cool weapons are useful for my build, it's still cool to have them. And while exploring the right side of Hell at last, I stumbled upon a sight I've never seen before.
That's hilarious.
This place won't be relevant until post-Moonlord, but holy hell, this place is sick. This is cool though. Whoa. What? The Wayfinder. After the Shadow Chest looting, I feel ready to try and face what may just be the hardest pre-hard mode boss in Calamity. An optional boss that if slain, will grant me the best armor in pre-hard mode. The Statagel set. I've already faced it 3 times before as I've mentioned. Of course, I'm talking about the Slime God. Past experiences with it haven't been the best, but if I was able to beat Skeletron, Slime God shouldn't be that much of an issue.
My Phoenix Blaster sucks, I'm gonna cry.
Come on, man! That's too easy! 2 of them.
I'm doing good so far. Oh, the core's becoming much more active. Oh, I'm actually choking this. Oh, I'm choking this. Oh, no. I have to. Oh, no. No, I was right. You have to kill the core. No! In all fairness, Slime God seems very doable at first compared to Skeletron. However, as I feared, that last phase with the Slime God core is going to cause me a lot of trouble. But with my lessons from Skeletron, this nut shouldn't be too hard to crack. Oh, damn it. Actually, no way, dude. Unfortunately, being filtered by a purple and crimson ball time and time again can be very frustrating. I'm gonna freaking... Oh my god! But, like Skeletron, I only find myself getting better at the boss fight. So good, in fact? Well, I'll let the next and final attempt speak for itself. Holy hell. Come here! There we go.
That's damage.
This is it! Come here. Yes! There it is! Oh my goodness. I had it. Slime got down. The first time I ever got adrenaline within a boss fight. And my god, the exhilaration you feel, the power within your veins. It really does suck that adrenaline was nerfed in Infernum, but that is a high that is 100% worth chasing. And now with the main drop that Slime God gives you, Purified Gel, I'm able to put together the Knight's Edge as a great high damage melee option, as well as Statajo armor, the best armor set in Prehardmode as I've stated before. Statajo replaces the Shadow armor I've been using mostly for mobility, but since Statajo is an armor set where you can choose your headpiece, not only do I get slightly more defense, but now I do a ton more range damage and get neat set bonuses like an extra jump and getting extra immunity frames to hit when an attack that does over 100 damage. And now with Skeletron and Slime God defeated, the next boss in the progression line is the final boss before Hard Mode, that being the Wall of Flesh. But I'm not exactly ready to enter Hard Mode so soon. There's still more bosses to kill and houses to finish. The first on that list being Queen Bee, where no real drama happens, besides another Queen Bee accidentally spawning in, causing me to lose. Yeah, that wasn't fair. I got 2 Queen Bees on me, what the hell? I'm able to win on my next attempt, but the Hive made sure I kept it close. But I was able to prevail, as thankfully I only needed to fight 1 Queen Bee this time. There actually is an item that I wanted from Queen Bee, that being the honeycomb so I can upgrade my shark tooth necklace. But despite the accessory having a 33% chance of dropping, it took me 5 kills just to finally get it. And after getting my stinger necklace, some more exploring leads me to find a crimson floating island. This will be useful in hard mode. Trust me. And speaking of the crimson, Fargo's NPC actually sells an item to fight the Brain of Cthulhu in any biome. But since I'm already at the endgame for Prehardmode, he causes me no trouble at all. Although easily a much cooler boss fight compared to either world. What the hell? The next boss that I completely forgot about being Crabulon, the guy with the funny overrated calamity track, where thankfully the reanimated carcass is easily dispatched of. Damn, this build is good. Although apparently not good enough to first try the Torch God ritual, which is on the boss list for some reason. Anyways, the last boss that I'm actually able to face within this world is a mini-boss featuring the old one's army invasion that was part of that crossover with Dungeon Defenders. But with my Knight's Edge, Aqua Charge Shotgun, and my new overloaded blasters I got from getting another Slime God treasure bag, I defend my house with ease. And that's about the bosses and Prehardmode that I'm able to face. I mean, there is the Perforador, the Crimson variant of the Hive Mind, but I can't spawn it without an Underground Crimson. And the Deerclops, that is only able to be fought in a specific world seed. Yep. So now, I guess I'll let myself explain the next project that I'll have to undertake.
Alright, so that means it's time for everyone's favorite thing. Hell Bridge building.
However, before I begin the long chore building an arena for the Wall of Flesh, I take about 30 minutes of grinding to find the last accessory needed for the PDA. A compass. Now, like I've said, the PDA is one of the most annoying and tedious information accessories to get in vanilla, requiring rare mob drops, specific items from traveling merchants, and doing tedious fishing quests for a chance to get one of the items needed. But, since modded is goated, I was able to craft the cell phone pre-Wall of Flesh. All the information down here is just really useful to have, and it's great to have it all before entering hard mode. So now, as the title of this chapter says, it's time to build the bridge, Hell Bridge to be exact. My go-to method for an arena for the final boss of Prehard mode, the Wall of Flesh. I said his name like 3 times already, it's not exactly in a reveal by this point. And as construction begins, you may be wondering what exactly I'm placing to be used for the Hell Bridge. Why planter boxes? Now, I understand your confusion if you're thinking this. I mean, each of these boxes are 95 copper a piece. Why not just use wooden platforms or blocks that'll be infinitely cheaper? And for that, I have 2 simple reasonings. 1, planter boxes act the exact same as platforms, so although it can be annoying for the enemies below me to attack me, by this point, these enemies pose little to no threat to me besides just being a nuisance. 2, and more importantly, these planter boxes have the benefit of having lava flow through it and not spreading it like I would if I was building with blocks, while not destroying it if I was building with regular platforms. And with this strat, it thankfully doesn't take too long to build to both ends of the underworld, but the Hell Bridge isn't exactly done here. I still have arena items to place, and more importantly, to clear out all of these extra blocks up here for extra mobility. And thankfully now that I can just buy these arena items from an NPC, I can just focus on making the best damn Hell Bridge I've ever made. Basically making a giant long tunnel from the very top of hell all the way down to my planter boxes, with the choice of construction material paying off time and time again, allowing me to easily drain lava and not having to worry about lava slimes. Seriously, use these if you also like making hell bridges. And while I terraform the rest of the underworld, allow me to quickly explain my strategy with this hell bridge. With the first phase being what you're seeing right now, that being making a flat roof at the very top of hell, as I'm really banking on Infernum Wall of Flesh being very similar to its vanilla variant, as in the past I've experienced issues with these mounts of ash blocks or hell cities blocking my projectiles. But luckily, or not really, my theory has a chance to be proven, as while excavating...
Oh! I'm sorry! So that is interesting.
And now you see why all this digging has to be done, as I'm clearly going to need a lot more mobility in the boss fight to stand a chance. Progress is slow, yet I'm able to complete the hell roof, starting my next phase of destroying literally every single block in the middle of my hell tunnel. It takes a while, but once everything is all clear, I add an additional layer of planter boxes in the middle just for some extra mobility, and honestly, these phases have been pretty uneventful. I mean, I can just skip through all of this footage and not having to work. God damn it! And finally, after a couple more hours, the Hell Bridge is done, spanning thousands of blocks, fully clear with full arena item coverage. By this point in the run, I've practically done it all. I built up every house and every biome, got my money up, beat every boss that I was able to in Prehard mode, and I have my full build ready. I have a Knight's Edge to keep me safe from anything getting too close, a reliable high DPS gun in the Aqua Shot Shotgun, the overloaded blasters which will be perfect against a boss like the Wall of Flesh, and of course the disappointing Phoenix Blaster that I have on me, because why not? And for my gear, I'm running the Ranger variation of the Citadel set, Terraria boots and Skylight wings for horizontal and vertical mobility, Shield of Cthulhu for dash, Stress pills for faster movement, and Adrenaline build that I just so happened to get the one session I wasn't recording, and a Stinger necklace for extra damage and healing, with every accessory reforged to menacing for an extra 20% damage boost. Also can't forget about all my buffs and a random summon for extra damage, and with all of this, I'm finally ready to enter hard mode. I've come a long way, you know. This journey has pushed me to my absolute limit so far, and I just know that I'm only getting started, because if bosses like Skeletron and Slime God give me troubles, I can only pray that I'm prepared for the future fights ahead of me. But no matter what happens next, at least I know that I'm as prepared as I can be. Here goes nothing. Oh, come on. It's just for the initial.
Clear eyes is a hit.
Alright, that's first eye dead. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Alright, not just the mouth. Uh-oh. What did I get hit by? Uh-oh. Oh, that's bad. That was bad. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Oh, that could have been bad. And there he is. Wasn't even that bad. But, as you can clearly see from the text at the bottom, this run is far from over. We've only just unlocked the next point of progression, hard mode. We have so much more scaling to do, new lands and biomes to explore, as our world has been blessed with new ores and enemies. But these next chapters will have to be told another day, where new tales of triumph and calamity await us. We'll just have to be patient in the meanwhile, and surely one day, we'll be able to revisit this tale of a cruel world.
Are you being intentionally dense?